Every day, we see the darker side of the world around us. We witness how people can hurt others in ways that are hard to understand. It's a sad part of life, but it's something we can't ignore. As someone who dives into the world of crime, I'm here to share the most shocking stories and try to understand what drives people to do such things. I'm Michael, and today, I've got another unreal true crime story for you. On a chilly December night in 2016, the peace of a quiet Toronto neighborhood was shattered by the sound of a woman's screams. Screams that suddenly stopped as quickly as they began. Inside the house, three kids were asleep, completely unaware of the terrible events unfolding just a few rooms away. By the next morning, 40-year-old Dr. Elena Frick, a well-loved doctor and mother of three, had disappeared. Her husband, Dr. Mohammed Shamji, claimed she had left the house with a suitcase and another man. But what seemed like a simple explanation was hiding something far darker. What really happened to Alana that night? And how did her perfect life take such a tragic turn? Alana Frick was born in 1977 in Windsor, Canada, to Joseph and Anna Frick. She had an older sister named Caroline. Her parents were originally from Croatia and had moved to Canada in the 1960s to work for General Motors. After Caroline's birth in 1970, the Fricks faced heartbreak, losing two pregnancies and being told by doctors they wouldn't be able to have more children. Against all odds, Ilana was born in 1977, and her parents saw her as nothing short of a miracle. When Elena was young, the family relocated from Windsor to Tecumseh, a small town in southwestern Ontario where she grew up. Known as a bright and curious child, Elena spent much of her free time immersed in books. She attended St. Peter's Elementary School and later Santa Ana High School. In high school, she participated in Croatian folk dance and spent her summers working in nearby cornfields. Elena was also athletic, joining her school's track and field team. During her school years, Elana met a boy named Mathieu Renaud, and the two quickly became inseparable. They shared everything, from meals with each other's families to a deep love for music. In the 1990s, they fulfilled a shared dream of attending a Nirvana concert, their favorite band. Their bond seemed unshakable, and friends and family believed they were destined to marry. However, life took a turn after high school when Ilana began studying medicine at the University of Ottawa, while Mathieu stayed in their hometown. The long-distance relationship proved challenging, and despite their engagement, Elena eventually ended it, focusing entirely on her studies. Elena's drive to succeed stemmed from witnessing her parents' grueling work at the General Motors factory. She often remarked on how exhausting their jobs were and resolved to secure a career that offered financial stability and a better quality of life. Her determination paid off, and she excelled during her time at medical school. In 2003, while working as a resident at the Ottawa Hospital, Ilana was playing pool in the recreation room when she caught the eye of Mohammed Shamji, a neurosurgery resident. Mohammed, the son of renowned thoracic surgeon Dr. Farid Shamji, came from a wealthy and prestigious family in Ottawa. He had attended the country's best schools and was considered a medical prodigy. Mohammed began joining Ilana for games of pool and eventually asked her out. Ilana was captivated by his intelligence, ambition, and elite background. Despite her growing feelings, she sometimes doubted whether she was good enough for him. Their relationship, however, was far from perfect. While Ilana was deeply invested, Muhammad's behavior often left her disappointed. He skipped her medical school graduation under the pretense of being ill, only for her to later discover he had been out with friends. He was also unfaithful, seeing another woman from his university days. Despite these red flags, Muhammad's charm and persistence convinced Elena to stay with him, even after she had tried ending the relationship twice. In April 2004, Elena introduced Muhammad to her parents. Joseph and Anna were unimpressed, finding him distant and disinterested in engaging with them. Joseph advised Elena not to settle for someone like Muhammad, believing she deserved better. One morning, Anna overheard the couple arguing. When she asked what was wrong, Elena, visibly upset, insisted it was nothing more than a sleepless night. Anna left them alone, assuming it was just a harmless disagreement. Not long after, Elena discovered she was pregnant. Muhammad faced a dilemma, as his Muslim parents would be furious about an out-of-wedlock child and his choice to marry outside their faith. Weighing his options, Muhammad decided marriage was the best solution. Together, he and Elena began planning two weddings, one to honor his family's traditions and another for hers. On September 1st, 2004, Elena and Muhammad held a traditional Muslim ceremony in Ottawa. At nearly 5 months pregnant, Elena adhered to the customs, including having her hands adorned with intricate henna designs, which her Christian mother found unsettling. The wedding highlighted the stark contrast between the couple's backgrounds. Elena's guests were primarily hard-working relatives, while Muhammad's were prominent figures in the medical community. Alcohol was officially forbidden at the ceremony, though some guests discreetly drank in the parking lot. While their union seemed like a compromise between their different worlds, the complexities of their relationship hinted at the challenges that lay ahead. Before their second wedding at a Catholic church, Elena and Muhammad were required to attend several counseling sessions. Muhammad, however, refused to participate and asked John Mark, a mutual friend, to attend in his place. When John declined, the sessions were skipped entirely. Despite Muhammad's indifference and lack of effort, the couple proceeded with a small wedding ceremony at St. Francis of Assisi Church in Windsor. Unlike their first wedding, this one was modest, with fewer guests. To hide the lingering henna tattoos on her hands, Elena wore elbow-length white gloves. After the ceremony, the couple rode in a limousine to the Caesars Hotel and Casino, where they spent part of their honeymoon. Shortly after, they purchased a home in Ottawa and moved there. Elena began working as a family doctor at the Ottawa Hospital, while Muhammad continued his residency in neurosurgery. In January 2005, after a challenging pregnancy, Elena gave birth to a baby girl. She was overjoyed by the arrival of her daughter, but Muhammad appeared detached and uninvolved. His focus remained on his career, often retreating to the upstairs study as soon as he returned home, barely interacting with his wife or child. Tensions grew when Muhammad's family visited shortly after the baby's birth. Elena, upstairs breastfeeding, didn't come down to greet them, which enraged Muhammad. Later, he berated her, claiming it was her duty to welcome guests at the door as a sign of respect. Feeling increasingly isolated, Elena confided in her parents, saying she felt as if she were walking on eggshells in her own home. Over time, Muhammad's controlling behavior escalated, and he began having unprovoked fits of anger. While Elena rarely spoke about her struggles, friends and family noticed her growing unhappiness. Muhammad also criticized her appearance, ridiculing her weight gain and belittling her cooking. A month after the baby's birth, tensions reached a breaking point when Muhammad, in a panic, called Elena's parents, claiming she wanted a divorce. Elena quickly took the phone from him, assured her parents that everything was fine, and ended the call. Not long after, while her parents were preparing to attend church one Sunday, they received a missed call from Elena's home. Using their phone's redial feature, they called back, only to overhear a heated argument. Mohammed's furious insults toward Ilana echoed through the line, leaving her parents horrified. In the spring of 2005, Mohammed was accepted into a prestigious PhD program in biomedical engineering at Duke University in North Carolina. Seeing this as an opportunity, Ilana enrolled in Duke's master's program in public policy, and the couple planned to move to the United States that fall. However, just days before the move, an argument turned violent, and Mohammed physically assaulted Ilana. Terrified, she took her daughter and sought refuge at a friend's apartment. Mohammed, unaware of her location, began calling mutual friends until he eventually found her. After 3 days, he promised to stay with his parents if she returned home. Still afraid, Elena agreed, but asked John Mark to stay nearby for protection until her own parents could arrive. Following the incident, Mohammed faced 3 criminal charges, 1 for assaulting Ilana and 2 for issuing threats. These charges jeopardized both his career and his ability to cross the U.S. border to begin his studies at Duke. To salvage his future, Mohammed worked to reconcile with Ilana. A few weeks later, the family baptized their daughter in a church in Windsor. When guests at the reception asked why Mohammed wasn't there, Ilana told some he was working, but privately admitted to her cousin Rob that they'd had another fight. Rob urged her to leave Mohammed, assuring her she could find someone who truly loved her. Ilana, however, insisted they would work things out. On July 27, 2005, the authorities agreed to drop the charges against Mohammed if he signed a peace bond. As part of the agreement, he had to acknowledge that Ilana had reasonable grounds to fear him and accept a 12-month probation. With the charges dismissed just in time, Mohammed was able to begin his PhD at Duke and cross the border without issue. He moved to Durham, North Carolina, to start his program, and Ilana and their daughter joined him a few months later. Friends and family couldn't understand why Ilana returned to Mohammed. She was intelligent, financially independent, and had the unwavering support of her family. While some speculated that she was drawn to the status her relationship with Mohammed provided, others believed she truly loved him and held on to hope that their relationship could improve. In Durham, the couple settled into a routine. They began running marathons together, often waking up before dawn to train. Afterward, Ilana would drop their daughter off at daycare before heading to Duke University with Mohammed. Mohammed excelled in his program, completing his 5-year PhD in just 3.5 years. Despite his professional success, the cracks in their marriage remained, hinting at deeper challenges that could not be resolved by a change in location. Ilana excelled during her studies at Duke University, earning a rare scholarship that covered most of her tuition and being recognized as the best in her class. After her classes, she would pick up Mohammed and their baby before heading home to prepare dinner, a routine she repeated almost daily. In 2007, nearly 2 years later, Ilana became pregnant again and gave birth to the couple's second daughter in November. Friends of the couple noticed an imbalance in their marriage. Ilana was the one who drove Mohammed everywhere he needed to go. When her friend Valentina Nikolova asked her about it, Ilana simply explained that Mohammed disliked driving. But the imbalance extended beyond transportation. Ilana was responsible for nearly everything in their household, from grocery shopping to assembling furniture and even changing light bulbs. Despite her efforts, Ilana often downplayed her own importance, frequently telling friends how brilliant Mohammed was and how insignificant she felt in comparison. To outsiders, Ilana appeared to hold control in the relationship. Yet, she always sought Mohammed's permission for even the smallest decisions, displaying an unusual submissiveness. Meanwhile, Mohammed would call her multiple times whenever she was out, demanding to know where she was and who she was with. In 2009, after completing their studies at Duke, the couple returned to Ottawa, Canada, and moved into a house near the hospital where they both began working. Ilana quickly became a beloved family doctor, admired by her patients, while Mohammed advanced in his neurosurgery specialization, earning an award for the exceptional care he provided. Around this time, the couple became active on social media, portraying themselves as a wealthy, happy family with beautiful children. However, close friends knew that Mohammed controlled Ilana's accounts, dictating which photos she could post and even pressuring her to harass people he didn't like. Mohammed's controlling nature extended beyond social media and into their daily lives. He denied Ilana permission to subscribe to her favorite newspaper and restricted who their daughters could play with, dismissing children from less affluent families. He often insulted Ilana, calling her useless and stupid, and claimed he would have been better off without her. In 2011, Mohammed moved to Calgary for a year to complete a spinal surgery fellowship. Shortly after, Elena discovered he was having an affair. She found emails confirming the relationship and noticed a credit card charge for a hotel stay with his mistress on Mother's Day. When confronted, Mohammed didn't deny the infidelity. Devastated, Ilana considered leaving him, encouraged by friends who believed she deserved better. Yet, she stayed. Ilana yearned for his approval, believed she had invested too much in their life together, and hoped to prove she was worthy of his love. Mohammed promised to end the affair, and shortly after, he secured his dream job as a neurosurgeon at Toronto Western Hospital. The couple relocated to Toronto, purchasing a $1.5 million home in North York. Elena left her job in Ottawa and eventually found a position at the Earl Bales Clinic. However, she admitted to friends that the new job didn't excite her. She had worked hard to gain knowledge and felt her skills were underutilized. Once settled, Mohammed suggested having another child, noting they had an empty room in their home and expressing his desire for a son. Ilana agreed, hoping a new baby would breathe life into their strained marriage. In October 2013, the couple welcomed a baby boy. For nearly 2 years after his birth, their relationship seemed to stabilize. During this time, Ilana grew close to her new boss, Allison Kaufman, who lived across the street from their home. Their daughters thrived in private school, and Mohammed gained a reputation at Toronto Western Hospital for performing miraculous surgeries. In 2015, Ilana left her clinic job to work at Scarborough Hospital's Family Medicine Unit and became a district delegate for the Ontario Medical Association. Though her career was flourishing, Mohammed resented her success, reigniting tensions in their marriage. In March 2016, the family traveled to Vermont, stopping in Ottawa first to leave their youngest son with Mohammed's parents. That evening, Mohammed called Elena's parents, claiming she had severely cut her right palm and was undergoing surgery. Ilana later provided conflicting explanations for her injury, including hitting a glass on the counter, cutting vegetables, and breaking a dish while washing. None of her stories seemed plausible, and it was clear her wound wasn't accidental. In Vermont, tensions escalated further. The couple argued about Mohammed's affair in Calgary, during which he cruelly compared Ilana to his former mistress, claiming the other woman was far superior. The argument turned violent when Mohammed attempted to strangle Ilana. Later, Ilana confided in friends about the incident but chose not to report it, fearing how U.S. authorities might handle a man named Mohammed. A few months later, the couple celebrated their 12th wedding anniversary, which would ultimately be their last. Ilana gave Mohammed a heartfelt card that read, "My dearest Mohammed, I love you with all my heart. 12 years, 3 kids, 4 cities, 2 countries, and a lifetime of memories. I can't wait for the next 50 years. But the truth was far darker than her words suggested. By late 2016, Ilana had started discussing divorce with Mohammed. Panicked, he begged her to reconsider, and though she agreed to think it over, her suspicions grew that he was involved with another woman. When Ilana confided her suspicions to her friends, one jokingly suggested that she should get a lover herself. Surprisingly, Ilana did just that. She met another doctor who was also married with children. He treated her with kindness and made her feel desired again. Ilana later told a friend it was the first time she'd experienced a shred of happiness since marrying Mohammed. Her lover encouraged her to leave Mohammed and imagine a life without him. Emboldened, Ilana consulted a lawyer to initiate divorce proceedings. She revealed something she hadn't told anyone else, that Mohammed had assaulted her violently in October. It was the final straw for Ilana, who decided she needed to leave, not just for herself, but for the safety of her children. By late November, Ilana officially filed for divorce. Mohammed attempted to win her back by gifting her a large box of chocolates, but she remained resolute. On November 24th, she sent an email to a friend apologizing for her recent absence. "I'm in the process of separating from my husband, and things at home are chaotic. I'll try to catch up with you this weekend. I'll be away at a conference." Ilana attended the conference that Friday, where she spoke on panels, networked, and socialized. Mohammed messaged her throughout the weekend, feigning the role of a supportive husband. Upon returning home Sunday night, Ilana told her close friends that she had served Mohammed with divorce papers. Her lawyer had contacted him on Monday, emphasizing Ilana's desire for an amicable and swift resolution and requesting full financial disclosure. Ilana moved into the basement of their home, but Mohammed repeatedly moved her belongings back into the master bedroom. On December 1st, 2016, Ilana's family tried unsuccessfully to reach her throughout the day. Worried, they called Mohammed, who hesitantly claimed that Ilana had left the house the night before with a suitcase and her boyfriend. Ilana's mother, knowing her daughter would never abandon her children, contacted Allison Kaufman, Ilana's former boss and neighbor, asking her to check the house. Allison peered into the garage and saw that Ilana's car was still parked there. She informed Ilana's parents, who immediately called the police and set out on an overnight drive from Windsor to Toronto. When officers arrived at the house, Mohammed repeated his story about Ilana leaving with a suitcase. Following protocol, they searched the residence for any signs of her, but found nothing. Later that day, police discovered a woman's body stuffed inside a suitcase near the Humber River. She was barefoot, dressed in pajamas, and had severe head injuries. The autopsy revealed she had been beaten, sustaining blunt force trauma before being strangled. The body was taken to Elena's parents for identification. While Ilana's mother, Anna, couldn't recognize her daughter due to the swelling and damage to her face, her father, Joseph, tearfully confirmed her identity. "This is my daughter." The investigation quickly pointed to Mohammed Shamji as the sole suspect. He was arrested the next day at a cafe, where undercover officers handcuffed him at his table. Police discovered that Ilana had attempted to call 911 on the night of her murder, but only managed to dial 611 before Mohammed stopped her. It was also revealed that he killed her while their 3 children were in the house. Their eldest daughter later recounted hearing her mother's screams from her room. Fearing an intruder, she crept to her parents' bedroom and saw her father lying face down on the bed. When he noticed her, he ordered her back to her room. The crime shocked Canada, garnering widespread media attention. The seemingly perfect marriage of 2 accomplished doctors had ended in unimaginable tragedy. Elena's funeral was held on December 17, 2016, at St. Francis of Assisi Church in Windsor, the same church where she had been baptized and married the man who would eventually take her life. While awaiting Muhammad's trial, Joseph and Anna Frick moved into their daughter's home to care for their grandchildren, ensuring they could remain in their school during such a difficult time. In May 2019, over 2 years after the crime, Mohammed Shamji pleaded guilty as part of a deal with prosecutors, avoiding a full trial. He was sentenced to life in prison, with no chance of parole for 14 years. The case received extensive media coverage, and millions of Canadians followed the sentencing. Alana's eldest daughter publicly stated that she hated her father for what he had done and doubted she could ever forgive him. Today, Alana's children live with their maternal grandparents in Windsor. They frequently talk about their mother, but refuse to mention their father's name. Thanks for tuning in to Unreal True Crime. If you're intrigued by mysteries from around the world, check out our new channel, Latin Crimes, where we dive into the gripping true crime stories of Latin America. Don't miss out. Subscribe now for more thrilling investigations.